We'll release injury information on our players that were injured in this game. I know the quarterback will obviously be a subject. We will release that Friday before the next game. Okay, so we put a procedure in place where we put out an injury report on the Friday before a game, and we have an open week, so we'll follow that just out of respect to the players and anytime there's an injury. With the game, I was very pleased with our team in all three phases. Defensively, we started and played very well. Offensively, we were able to move the ball and run it and throw it both. And special teams, thought our players competed. We did have a couple 3 penalties. I know we had a couple holdings on offense, and we had one on special teams there at the end of the game. But for the most part, I thought that our team did a good job with penalties today and corrected some mistakes from the last game. Next week will be a good opportunity for us to get caught up in a lot of areas, play some base offense, base defense, and special teams this week and get some good work and give the players some time off, try to get their legs back, and then get ready for the Texas game.
Mike, can you talk about Wes when you saw him go down? Did you talk to him, what he had to say, and then go right into that to talk about J.W. Walsh and how he reacted in your opinion too?
When I got on the field, they had already kind of talked to Wes, and so I didn't really say much to him. I knew they were going to get him up and walk him off, and then from that point on, you know, J.W. has been here and practiced, and it's a little different approach offensively. But our coaches had taken that into mind, and we don't change offenses, but there's certain things that we feel like that he does better than Wes, and we tried to highlight that part of our play calling and then just kind of move forward.
How did you feel like he played, Mike?
Seemed like he played okay. Obviously, for the first time that he came into a game in a situation where it really mattered, I thought that he played pretty good. He took care of the football and ran hard and used his strengths to his advantage.
I know it's a team game, but maybe better than pretty good. You set a school record for total offense today in the first innings.
Well, as I said, I thought we were good on offense, and we caught the ball well. I think we only had, you guys probably know more than me, maybe one drop. Charlie Moore dropped the ball. It's the only one that I remember. So we're much more effective and efficient catching the football in our offense, and obviously it's very important for us to catch the football.
When you saw Wes go down, what was going through your head?
Well, I honestly didn't see it. I was looking down here, and then somebody said that he got hit and he's still down. So not really much. I just kind of watched to see if he's going to get up, and when he didn't get up, I figured that he was hurt because he's not a guy that's going to lay there if he's not hurt. So once that happened, you know, we just talked on the headphones about getting JW ready.
Already down one quarterback, you got your next guy out there running and crashing into people. Were you concerned at all at any point the way he was taking some shots?
Oh, I think we're always concerned, but JW has to play to his strengths, and part of his strength is to run the ball. And at times he'll pull it down and run it, and that's an extra dimension that he gives us, and he's got to continue to work and improve throwing the ball, but he has that extra aspect, which would be for his ability to pull it down and run it.
Can you teach him how to slide at some point?
Not right now. I like it. He's aggressive. You know, he did it all through high school and did it out here. They hit him late twice, took two pretty good shots at him. I just don't want to take his stinger away. I want him to play the way he's played throughout his career, and there may be a point that we discuss that, but right now he just needs to play the game.
If this was a bounce-back game, did you bounce back better than you envisioned, and if so, why?
Oh, I think it was a bounce-back game for everybody, more so than really us. And we were disappointed in our play in the last game, and I'd said that for a variety of reasons. Our team played well today, and we played efficient in all three phases, and that's why the results are this way. But we have a lot of work ahead of us in different areas. We have to find where our players best fit in, depending on their talent and the schemes before we play the next game.
Mike, was that first onside kick?
We onside kicked because the ball was on the 50. And so in that situation, well, we missed it. If you miss it, then, you know, they're only going to get the ball probably on about the 30 anyway. So it doesn't really make sense for him to just kick it out of the, you know, he could have kicked it in the stands in that one. So might as well take a chance. It's a low percentage, you know, it's less than 20% on an onside kick. Maybe a little more, a little better percentage on a sneak onside, but there's really no reason to kick it deep.
I know you don't want to discuss the details of Wes's injury, but would it be fair to say not as serious as maybe you first thought?
You know, I hate to say anything because I don't think that they've examined him and diagnosed him thoroughly yet. They haven't had time to do that. He's still in the training room, and so he could be in there for another couple hours till they work with him, just like they will Devin. So I just hate to say anything at this point.
So the defense played a lot tighter this week and not as much open space around receivers when they got the ball and a lot of zone blitzes. What did you think about their play?
Oh, well, obviously the defense played good. You know, they gave up what would be 10 points for the most part, and so I thought that we were tighter. I thought we had more pressure on the quarterback. I thought Calvin Barnett really got good push inside, and there were times that they let go of the ball in the first half, and as soon as they did, we were hitting them. So we had better pressure and we're a little tighter on the outside.
Obviously, Mike, injuries are always a serious thing as far as football is concerned. But with the way JW played today, does it take an inkling of that pain away with Wes's injury?
Well, it's always unfortunate that you have a player that could have some sort of a severe injury, you know, Wes, or even, you know, Devin Hedgepeth. And that's one of the most difficult parts of being a football coach, is to see a player that's worked hard get injured. And it just puts a knot in your stomach. So nothing really eases it. Now, I was pleased with the way JW stepped in, and he had a good look in his eye. There wasn't any fear, in my opinion, and he went out and just played. So I'm pleased with that, but the injury just leaves a knot in your stomach for any of our players.
Coach Staley had a pretty productive game receiving. What do you think of his performance?
Kai did good for us. We had a couple plays for him, and he caught the football and ran effective down the sideline, and a couple defenders took shots at him, and he just kept going and stayed in bounds and made a really nice play. And the opposite of an injury to a coach, it's very pleasing for all of us when a guy like Kai, who's had a tough time in his career with injuries, makes plays and likes being out there with the team.
I know there's a lot of unknowns still right now, but how do you anticipate maybe things changing with the bye week when you might not know which quarterback's going to be able to go and that sort of thing?
We won't change anything. They'll be off Monday, and we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Basically, we'll get them back, but they won't practice much and be off Monday. We'll give them 4 days.
Are you a game ball guy? You give out game balls to guys?
Was that about as, were you surprised by the crispness of the first half? You had 450 yards and 44 points at halftime.
I don't know if surprised is the word, but the contributing factor to that was the defense. I mean, we moved the ball pretty well in Arizona in the first half, but we weren't on the field as much. But the defense put us back on the field so quick, it allowed us to use an up-tempo pace, which works to our advantage.
Josh
Mike, with
Cooper
all due
has shown
respect-
at times of being explosive. How important is it to get him into space and let him work like he did today?
He's a player that we try to get the ball in his hands. We try to flip it to him and hand it to him and throw it to him quick. And then he's got a good feel for running that vertical route down the middle. And as he matures and gets stronger, he should be a really good player in this league. And he's always liked to play football. Guys that like to play football, they're not out there just because somebody else wants them to be. If they really like to play, they'll eventually be pretty good, and Josh likes to play football.
Mike, with all due respect to the other defensive coaches, do you feel your defense may have gotten a little bit of a lift with the return of Coach Young?
I don't think there's any question that we had another set of eyes in practice during the week, in meetings, and on game day. And I think that they all work really well together, and when you take one of them away, especially a guy that's been coaching for 40 years, I'm just throwing that out there, I figure it's somewhere around there, and as mature and as experienced as Bill is, and he has a real calming demeanor on game day. He and Coach Spencer work really well, and the other guys make the adjustments, and so it's just an advantage in having him back.
In the series after West got hurt, that you talk about the defensive play, they kept doing the best thing they could do, which was get stops and allow the offense to get some points on the board, and that allowed you guys maybe to loosen things up a little bit too.
No question. And I went down and visited with the defense, not that they listened to me or not, but one thing I mentioned to them is they need to take control of the game. No matter what happens on offense, that doesn't affect their play at all. And they need to get stops, and we need to continue to put them back on the field. But it just worked out that our offense, for the most part, didn't really miss a beat. It was different, rushing for 330 yards, but they needed to take control of that game, and they did a good job.
Mike, the defense not nearly as good in the second half. Is that just a result of a game that's way out of hand?
Yeah, they scored late, and we have some guys in there playing, Barry, that hadn't even practiced down on our end of the field. And again, that's a great opportunity for us to let everybody get on the field, but we try to make calls, and guys may go the wrong way because they're not in the game plan. They've been practicing Louisiana, Lafayette all week. And so I just think that it's not fair to really say that there was 24 points. I mean, I'm not, either way, everybody has their own opinion. I just know that we have a lot of guys in there, and that's good. We just play base, and when you play base, you're vulnerable at times. You got to mix your defenses up. We all know that. But when those guys are in, we just play base defense.
What percentage of snaps would you say that JW got with first team offense in practice before this game?
Well, I can tell you exactly what that is I'm almost positive it's 7-4, and then Clint rotates through on every so many for a 3. So probably a little bit above half, somewhere in that area. Munkin can probably tell you exactly. Good? All right, thank you.